radio was recorded in studio in the confines of the rolling hills, corn, and fields of Iowa. You can find Dog Pound Radio on Spotify, YouTube, Spreaker, Castbox, and iHeartRadio. Follow us on Twitter at CCA or on Facebook. Join the hosts Coach Banks and Doherty as they discuss the hot topics in sports today. Let's get ready to rumble.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are rocking. Lots of technical difficulties this evening, but we're going to get along just fine. I'm going to go ahead and unmute all the guests tonight. I'm unsure whether or not you can even see them because of what's going on, but you know what? We're going to roll with it. Sometimes when you try to one up yourself and get a little bit better views of things, these things happen. Well, tonight is Dog Pound Radio episode 4. And one of these weekends, I got to get a new intro because I got to add the Jeff Lamb in there. But just kind of bear with me as we get through. Well, tonight we've got the Fort Madison basketball coaches, head coach of the girls, Bentley, and head coach of the boys, Wilson. We got Shannon the Fix, Terrell, and then we got the Doty. And then, of course, tonight we'll have a special segment, What's Bugging Jeff Lamb. I'm hitting everything. You know, it's these wonderful mics that just happen to hit us. Well, you know, since the Buffalo Bills game's going on, I'm going to have the first question go to Shannon the Fix Terrell, so Ryan can sit back in the comfy chair and tell us what the score is and all that sort of stuff. But Shannon, you want to let everybody know kind of what you do, because you do a lot, especially for the Fort Madison community as a whole.
I'm an athletic trainer for the high school, so I take care of all the medical and anything along those with all the sports that we have that Fort Madison has to offer.
Now, you seem to be a man of who's kind of quiet tonight, but you do more than that. I've seen you do quite a lot, but what do you think is the difference between like a Fort Madison sporting or activities versus some of the other places that you had that opportunity to be an athletic trainer?
It depends on the setting too. I mean, if you're with your high school, you're not just the athletic trainer. You're someone they can talk to. You're someone they can lean on. You're taking care of uniforms if you have the equipment. But yeah, you are right about that. We do just a little bit more than just the medical part of things.
Absolutely. Now, Coach Wilson, I noticed the score was 7-7. Are you pre-recording it? So did I mess with you?
No, I'm watching as we talk here. So we're down 7-14 right now. So
14-7. It's probably going to be a pretty high scoring game. Anyway, Jeff, anything bugging you right away?
No, man. Shannon's on here. This is awesome. I'm excited to hear from everybody. So I'm good.
Absolutely. Well, anyway, I'll just fire up the questions and you can hit me where it counts a little bit later if I'm bugging you. Just raise your hand there, man. We'll start out first. There's a couple of football games, and I do have basketball coaches on and trainers, but let's do some picks. If you're going with the Bills, let's do this. Bills or Cincinnati?
Ooh.
Who's
Wilson?
picking?
Do you want to go first?
Bills Mafia all the way.
Okay. Jeff, who do you got?
I'll take the Bills on this one.
Okay. The Doty.
Oh, I'm going to go with Cincinnati. Love me some Joe Burrow.
Coach Bentley.
Joe Burrow.
Ooh, it's 2-2. Shannon?
Well, I'm a Bucks fan, but if I would pick between the two, I'll go with the Bills.
Okay, so I'm going to take Cincinnati, so it's tied. It's all moot and point. Anyway, do you have any comments about the Iowa Hawkeyes, blazing offense, guys?
You got two basketball coaches in here now. Let's get off the football topic and I know you're a football coach here, but let's talk some basketball.
Oh, you see what's bugging Jeff. All right. So we were coming to that. Believe it or not, yeah, I was going to come to that. But let's start out with Coach Bentley. You're taking over a girls basketball program that's had some success. You've been on that staff. Just give us kind of an outlook, kind of your preseason rituals, your workouts, and then who do you have as far as your big returners and who's the up and coming?
Okay, yeah. I'll start by saying I'm really excited to get rolling this season. The girls from last year that are returning, we've got great chemistry coming back. Obviously, we lost some seniors that we're going to miss them just like every year. But this year we've got four seniors coming back. 3 of them played varsity a lot last year. Taylor Johnson, Asia Jenkins, Ireland Sargent, and Juanita's our 4th senior coming back this year. We don't have any juniors this year, so no juniors. We've got 6 sophomores on the border. We'll figure out tomorrow, but 5 for sure, and a couple freshmen coming in, and they've got some experience. I've coached some of them in tournaments when they were younger or youth leagues like that. So I think we got a lot of good chemistry coming in despite our low numbers possibly this year, and I'm excited to get rolling. That's what I got for you.
What's the outlook look like in the junior high level? Lots of numbers.
The numbers are actually kind of what we're struggling with as a whole in the program. So we're really, really trying to get girls out, trying to keep them out. Have fun while you're out there, So I've been showing my face a lot more with the youth, just getting around those kids, letting them know basketball can be exciting. Bring the excitement back, starting at a young age, because that's where it all starts. You gotta develop that love of the game for that kid at an early age so they can grow up and keep working at it for themselves too.
100%. Now you just spent your first week at practice. How do things look? Are the girls in pretty decent condition, or did they struggle a little bit?
We start tomorrow, Chuck.
Oh, I screwed up. That'll
be
bugging.
Wrestling. Girls wrestling started this week, and then Landon gets going next week, and then Ryan the following week. So we've got a lot moving up here and coming up. But the numbers thing. Landon, I got a couple questions for you. The numbers thing is statewide. I know that you and I have had a lot of discussions about how that's going and everything. But Landon, coming from being an assistant to going to a head coach, what are you most excited about, and what are you most, I'll say, fearful about? I guess what's going to be your biggest challenge?
My biggest challenge is going to be just being a little bit younger, so just developing that discipline and respect within the program, as well as having that fun and exciting side to it. I think that for the most part, all the girls respect me, and we're coming along just fine. But yeah, that's a tough one, I guess. But as far as numbers, I think in our youth league, it's dipped, but we've had some late add-ons, and I think kids are just going to school talking about, hey, try out for basketball, come play basketball. And we've had some kids jump on here late for all ages here. So
yeah, and you've got a lot. This is your first year out at Baxter's too, so you've got a lot of challenges ahead of you. But I'm interested to hear what you're most excited about too.
I'm just excited to be around the kids, man, and around the girls. It's really hard staying away from even the high school kids, and just in the fall or those times of the year when we're not supposed to be doing stuff. So, but it just builds up the excitement that tomorrow we get to bring it all together and get to be together again and get after it. But I am really excited to just – my philosophy as a coach is super positive. Obviously, like I've said twice now, but the discipline part comes into it. But I'm really positive, and I'm looking to just have an enjoyable atmosphere, enjoyable environment at practices, enjoyable times on the court together, memories to be made. So that's what I'm excited for.
Now I got to ask how you were able to wrangle in Coach Bailey.
Okay. So Coach Bailey and I, we coached together middle school volleyball for the 8th grade. I coached last year, and I wasn't able to continue doing that this year because I took the position at Baxter Sports Complex. But him and I, we clicked, and I had never coached volleyball before or played, but our philosophies just really mesh well. And he was my teacher in high school. We had a really good relationship. I've always got along with Coach Bailey well. And coming into this season, getting kind of transitioned in a little bit later, I didn't know kind of what was going on. We didn't know exactly what was going on with the position for head coach, but just thinking about my options, and there's not a lot as good as Coach Bailey as far as experience goes, where I'm lacking right now, first year head coach. So it was almost a no-brainer when he said he would think about it with me. I kind of just kept nagging at him here and there, and eventually he's like, "I'll do it with you, man." So that's how I got him in.
That's pretty awesome. I'm going to guess that you're going to have to take his wife out to eat. Anyway, let's kind of roll over to the boys' side of things. We got Ryan Wilson, go Bills. I am wearing my Patrick Mahomes, jersey. I think Patrick Mahomes was named after Patrick Lamb. I'm sure he's listening. He'd be real excited about that. Now, Coach Wilson, let's talk about outlook. Preseason. Obviously, you've got another week to get things going, and let's talk about how the program's rolling along, how the open gyms are going. What's that?
Kicked out of this thing.
You're still on.
I can still hear you. Okay, he must have Windstream as well. That would be my guess. This past week has not been great for Windstream. Can you hear us, buddy? Okay.
What?
All right.
Well, is he off?
Yeah, looks like it.
Okay. I'm sure he'll be back. What's Doty doing on here tonight?
You know what? I brought, and it's the Doty, kind of like what's
Doty.
bugging Jeff.
Yeah.
The Doty. Doty, what's going on, man?
Just living the dream.
Yeah, but what are you doing on here?
Chuck asked me to be on here. Ask Chuck.
What's the Doty doing on here?
Well, I brought the Doty on to basically, to be kind of comedy and stuff like that. Coach Wilson, can you hear us?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Oh, there we go.
Oh yeah, we can hear you. All right, buddy. Let's talk about the outlook of the season, the preseason work ethic that you've seen with your guys, and what are you seeing out of your group?
Well, we had a preseason meeting last Thursday, and our numbers are pretty good. We have 32 kids out, 9 through 12, so that's pretty nice to see. A good number of them participated in some fall athletics, whether it was football or cross country. So that's nice to see as well. And then, we've been busy.
I hope he's okay.
Oh, he's still on there.
Yeah, but I can't hear him.
Things like that keeps our guys busy and ready to go. We get it started a week from tomorrow to just start to hit the ground running and get on the floor. It's an exciting time of everybody back. Basically, from last year, we lost 3 seniors. One was a starter, but when you look at it statistically, we probably have 97. Crazy number here, 9 seniors we will have this year. So that includes 2 foreign exchange students. I think we're at 15 or 16 freshmen. It's nice to see a high number of seniors, high number of freshmen. The middle numbers are great. I think we've got 4 or 5 juniors and maybe 4 or 5 sophomores, something like that, whatever all that adds up to. I think it's going to be an exciting season. We had a good summer, traveled around, played some ball.
Are we losing again?
Yeah, I think.
Am I here? Am I here?
You're here. You're cutting in and out.
Give me a second. Our internet is.
No problem. Is it MediaCom or Windstream? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'll put him backstage here for a couple seconds while he works on that. From what I gather, it'll be the first time in a long time that we're not going to be that young. You know, when you look at both levels, right, guys? I mean, this is pretty exciting to have some senior leadership.
Yeah, they've got a good group coming back. That are going to be seniors, and they've got a good group of kids just in general because they've done a lot of things. At the beginning of the year, they did a dunk contest at all the schools and stuff, and just a good group of kids. And I think we have a good group of kids no matter what. So Ryan's doing a great job.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to see how it turns out too.
What's that, Shannon?
I say I'm looking forward to see how it
Am I in
turns
the
out
show?
too. Yeah, we got some good groups coming in.
Am I back in the show or am I still gone?
You're good now.
You're in now, sir.
Glad it's not just me that has technology problems, though.
Well, you know, it's a little bit me, you know, and everybody else. I just like to blame, you know, I almost said corny email, but it's internet. Doty, you got to chime in and give us more comedy, man. But
I know. We brought you on here for comedy, Doty, and you've said like 3 words.
Yeah, man.
You didn't tell me that. I wasn't prepared.
Oh, didn't write your jokes beforehand?
Dude, you're like one of the funniest guys I know, but it's kind of like interviewing a stinking author, man, that won't say anything. But Coach Wilson, while I still have your interwebs, intertwined here, let's talk about your senior leadership. Who's going to be your go-to guy this year? That you're going to kind of see play that captain role.
There could be a couple, to be honest with you. Leif Boding, Hunter Cresswell, two guys that do a lot of different things, different sports, could be looked at upon leadership. Carson Rashid is another one. And then we've got guys like Marin Rose and Henry Morris, Cade Denning. You know, like I said earlier, we have 9 seniors. 2 of them are new to the program who are foreign exchange students. But, I think any of those guys I mentioned, we can count on to lead us, whether it's in the locker room or on the floor. Henner returns as a second team all-conference player. And I don't know I'm sure you've all seen him since last season, but he's dropped about 30 pounds. Went on a nice diet, lost some weight, and is super athletic. And he had a really nice summer. He's getting contacted by some colleges and some coaches and things. So he looks real nice right now. So, a lot of our stuff will probably roll through him this season.
Absolutely. Now, Coach Bentley, who are you going to lean on to be your leaders?
One sticks out to me, and that's Ireland Sargent for this year. She's a trooper, man. She's been through a lot, and bouncing back from this injury, seeing her at a couple of open gyms, she looks ready to go. She's smarter now than ever, in my opinion. Athletically, we're coming along, and our goal is to be midway through the season back to where she was, and we're gonna work that. And I've got 3 sophomores I'd like to shout out to that had a great summer. Hallie, Minky, Hadley Wolf, and Dayana Davis. They played a lot of varsity last year as freshmen, kind of got thrown into that. Just low numbers, and they excelled in that role, making it to district finals last year, the regional final against Clear Creek. And that was a tough stage, but making it all the way there with 3 freshmen, a big part of your rotation, I considered a successful season for us. So,
Go ahead, Jeff.
Ryan, I got a question for you. We've got one coach that's been here quite a while and one coach that's just starting out. So, Ryan, if you could give him advice, what was the best piece of advice you ever received from a coach when you started coaching?
Well, it's funny you mentioned that. Just it's been a few weeks, but Landon and I sat down and had a good, hour and a half meeting, and he picked my brain on some different things. And, I just told him to use as many resources as possible. He's not in this alone. He's got a great assistant with Coach Bay, which was poached from my middle school program, but that's okay. No, it's just, you gotta stick with your gut, do your thing. He's played enough basketball. He's been around it. He knows it. And, just rely on the resources and the people around you, and know that, people like me and others in the school have his back and will support him through the tough times. And, high school kids are difficult, but he'll be just fine.
Awesome.
Thanks, Coach.
Coach Bentley. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Chuck.
Okay. Sorry, man. I know I'm gonna be in your "What's Bugging Jeff" segment here later, but
it's just Chuck.
Coach Bentley, tell us. Are you nervous, or is the has it all sunk in? I mean, this is pretty exciting. To be a young coach coming into a program that's kind of changed the corner, and now you get a chance to put your own staple on it. I mean, how are you getting over the nerves?
I tell the girls all the time, it's natural to have a fight or flight response when we're nervous or like before a big game. You the fight or flight. So I'd be a hypocrite to choose flight in those situations. So I've got to fight just like I asked them to in those situations. But I'm absolutely nervous. I think what helps is preparation, getting those practice plans together, sending it to Coach Bailey, sending it to maybe Coach Wilson, seeing what they think, getting input, and just talking to a lot of people. Even send it to Jeff, talking to coaches that know kids, understanding that I'm not going to know everything off rip, using the wise people around me. I mean, I think any coach who thinks they know it all isn't a very good coach, right? So just constantly learning, picking up new things, and trying to be the best I can be for the girls. That's kind of the motivation. So, and the discipline for me.
Jeff?
I got a question for Doty now.
Nice.
So, Doty, you're not in either one of these programs. If you look at them at the end of the year, how would you define their success?
Well, I mean, with the boys team and a standing head coach that's been there a while, I think you look more at how successful they're being when they got a lot of seniors and a lot of freshmen. But I think with a new coach, it's just on the women's side, it's just progression over the year, how they start and how they end up being different. Obviously, you want to be better at the end than you are at the beginning.
Absolutely.
Still too doggone quiet. Now, Shannon, why don't you answer that question, because that's a good question.
Well, I mean, he's still not. I mean, he's not new to the team. I'm like, he's been there before. So he's not a new face. So I mean, he might be stepping in a new role as the head coach, but the girls are pretty comfortable with him just from last season.
Yeah. Now, Jeff, when you look at the term success, how do you define success when it comes to coaches? Whether or not there's a peak in a valley or a rebuilding process, or someone's coming in and there's a lot of talent. How do you personally define success?
Well, I think you got to look at individuals like Shannon kind of pointed out there. They know Landon, they've been around him. But as far as success goes for our programs, I think that there's too much focus on just the winning aspect of it. And I don't believe you win fully until later on in life, obviously. So I think Ryan has done a good job with this. There's a lot of coaches that we have on campus that have done a good job too of teaching life skills through the sport. And we're never going to see those things, but sport's here to create challenges for our kids, to make sure that they understand what it's like to be part of that and go. So I was really impressed last year with Ryan. Brian, the last time I really talked to Coach Wilson was when we were 20 and 15 or whatever the ages where we were younger. And so, you have a lot of different things, but his patience during times where I may not have held my tongue as much as he did, he's done a good job with that. And last year didn't go as well as he'd like after coming off of the year that he had before, but he's really good example for his kids, and I was impressed with that.
Do you think it's kind of like coaches? If they put in that win at all cost, athletes become afraid to make mistakes because you're going to make hundreds of mistakes per season. But the same kind of goes for coaches. Would you agree or disagree?
Oh yeah, I think I always said as a coach, like, we're one of the only places where, I don't know, I don't want to go too far into this, but like, nobody walks into somebody's office and tells them how they should be doing their job. Mm-hmm. And so when we're literally have a scoreboard to tell us how well we're doing, and it doesn't tell the whole story. So that's a challenge. I think coaching is a challenge to begin with, and you get somebody like Landon that's eager to do it, and they're going to make mistakes, but they're going to learn from them. And I think that's what separates the good ones from the average and whatever it might be. So yeah, it's tough. I mean, everybody that does it knows it's not the easiest thing in the world.
That's phenomenal. I'm speechless, Jeff. I'm freaking speechless, man.
I do that with a lot of people.
I know, man. So Doty, you kind of you did a little bit in college, and then you coach high school, and then you actually you switched from Missouri to Iowa. Now, what would you say is the biggest struggle for you as a young coach? Kind of going from that collegiate role to the high school level.
Well, I think the way you act around the players is a ton different. At the college level, you can pretty much just say whatever comes to your mind and do whatever you want to do. At the high school level, you have to be a little more cognizant of the people you're around. That's really the biggest difference. Going from state to state, though, I mean, really the only difference is in Missouri, everybody makes the playoffs. In Iowa, you have to earn it. So.
Well, certain classes have to earn it. Anyway, I know, man. We'll come to that later. But who's the GOAT? Coach Bentley, who's the GOAT of all time, best basketball player, period?
Well, I named my dog after him, and it's Kobe.
Did you say Kobe?
Is he even in the conversations of the best?
Oh man, he muted himself, as he's saying Kobe. So
Kobe.
Okay.
He's not even proud of it. He's like, Kobe. See ya.
Yeah, and then
I'm not going to say anything else.
He went
I
mute.
leaned on the mute button, but no, I stand by that mentality. Listen to the other professionals that played with him, how they talk about him, how they respect him. You guys are just telling me it's not all about wins and losses, right? So somebody that's well respected, that's my GOAT.
Okay.
Kobe
okay.
P.
So, if anybody says LeBron, I'm going to remove you from the comment.
Not here.
Coach Wilson, are you saying LeBron?
Jordan, all the way, man.
No way.
Yeah.
And I don't have to say anything. I don't even have to say it. Just say Jordan, and everybody knows.
Yeah,
we're good.
Yeah. All right. So, sorry, all you LeBron lovers out there, which it kind of is what it is. But
they're a younger crowd.
Yeah. Now, Bobby Knight just passed this past week. You look back at his career and who he was. I mean, obviously he did a lot of things that you probably shouldn't do, in kind of that role. But Coach Wilson, do you lean more Krzyzewski or Bobby Knight?
Coach K, just because more familiarity, and Knight kind of got out, around the time that I was getting into coaching. And so, for the last 15 years, it's been a lot of Coach K and whatnot. But I have a lot of Bobby Knight references and different things. Longtime assistant at Fort Madison, Tom Getz, swore up and down Bob Knight for life. And, he taught me a lot of stuff about Bob Knight and his philosophies and things. I mean, you can't go wrong either way, in my opinion. But, again, I'm just more familiar with Coach K and his time and success at Duke and USA basketball.
I will tell you that Bobby Knight did make the GOAT cry. I'm just going to throw that out there. Coach Bentley, Krzyzewski, or Bobby Knight?
Coach K.
Do you even know who Bobby Knight is? Did you even watch him coach?
Yes, I know who Bobby Knight is.
All right.
I know his saying. His saying about his critics when he dies, he wants to flip over so they can kiss his rear end or whatever.
Yeah.
That's my favorite saying by Bobby Knight. That's a good one.
That is a good one.
Lamb, who do you?
Didn't Bobby Knight coach Coach K at one point?
Yes, at Army.
Army.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
So Jeff, do you model your when you were coaching college off of Bobby Knight?
Yeah, I threw a ton of stuff, just everything I could onto the field. That's how. No, not really. No, I enjoyed him, but yeah, I don't think you can do that anymore. So you gotta change the way you do things. So great coach though.
Yeah, absolutely. Doty?
Coach K for sure. I mean, just with the way they handle themselves. Bobby Knight throws chairs. Coach K goes and tells the student section to quit being mean to other people. So big Coach K fan.
Shannon, do you think I act more like Bobby Knight or Coach K?
Oh, it depends. Most of the time it might be K, but every now and then you'll see some Bobby Knight peek out of you.
I appreciate that. Oh my goodness. So let's go back to our programs. Let's go back to where do you if you're talking about rivalries, our conference is second to none when it comes to rivalries. Like Coach Bentley, I'm guessing that you look at Keokuk, you look at Fairfield that they're going to come back, and they're going to come back pretty good. Where do you see fitting into the conference? Now I know we're not psychics and all that crap, but where do you want to compete? I mean, who's your biggest rival, and what game do you have circled?
As far as conference goes, year after year, we're gonna strive for the top of that. I'm gonna put us at the top, but I will say our biggest games: circle Keokuk and circle Washington this year. You could circle every game this year, in my opinion, as far as conference goes. I don't think there's too many teams that fall off of the grid of right there with each other, but triple circle that Keokuk game. That's going to be a huge one for us. It always is, and it will be again this year.
The Hound Dome for that one. Now, Coach Wilson, which games do you have circled?
Right now, our first eight, right? Well, yeah, first eight right before Christmas. Those are all big right now. We have three pretty big non-conference games with Williamsburg, Pella, Mount Vernon. I don't think I really need to go in detail about their programs, but pretty good programs. Two of those are home, thankfully. One on the road right before Christmas with Mount Vernon. But, we need to get off to a good start, build some confidence and some momentum. We open up with Fairfield to start the season, who has a new head coach there, and then Williamsburg the next night and some things like that. So, I think these first 8 games going into Christmas break will they're all big. We'll see Keokuk in January 9th. We'll go down to their place or whatever. But, that's always a big game. And Burlington is always a big game. But when it comes to otherwise, Central Lee, Holy Trinity, because you want to beat everybody in Lee County and kind of have those bragging rights. So, but, those are both early January. So, yeah.
I'm excited to see the progression. Now, Jeff, what do you have circled as far as, let's talk about all 4 of the winter sports. What 4 days circled? Well, you have all of them on the calendar, right?
Well, yeah, all of them are circled, highlighted, and everything else, making sure we got everybody where we need to be. But November 27th, girls wrestling for sure. We got December 15th and 16th is the boys wrestling tournament. That's a big one. Definitely the Keokuk game when they all come here. One of the nice things this year is the boys and girls playing the same night. So I think that's going to be a huge thing to get people out to watch everybody. Yeah, I mean, date wise, I think those dates where we get closer to Christmas and stuff, getting people out, making sure the crowds are packed is the big thing. I'm not as into who we're playing or anything like that, but conference games, we need to support them as much as we can. These kids and these coaches work extremely hard.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Shannon, what are you most excited about here? The outlook of winter sports.
All of the above. I mean, I've always liked basketball and covering that. Since I've been here, I've grown more accustomed to wrestling. I didn't used to like it, but since moving here, I've gotten to enjoy it more. But both of them, I look forward to both of them.
Absolutely. Now, I'm pretty excited about it because I'm going to give the wrestling program a little love, but I'm also going to give our basketball programs some love as well. So I'm excited about it. To bring not only Dog Pound Radio but Fort Madison sports to the pinnacle, because we definitely need a strong backing when it comes to that. Coach Bentley, now let's not only talk about basketball, but let's talk about your day job. How hard is it?
How hard is it?
Yeah.
Well, right now, coming into the winter, things are slowing down programming wise, but we're getting calendars booked, spring baseball, softball. So we're reaching out to teams right now, getting teams in our leagues, getting teams in tournaments, doing that sort of thing for the next year. And my job there is to obviously take what Woodside did a good job of creating and starting up, and then piggybacking off of that and growing it even further and keeping the complex going. So as far as hard, another thing I kind of think about is things you don't care about that you work hard for, that's stress. But things you work hard for and you care about them, that's passion. So I try not to get caught up in stressing or how hard is something for me.
Well, I'm going to steal that in my next book because that is the championship mindset, ladies and gentlemen, right there. Come on, Doty, you got to add something.
Chuck, you brought this guy on for comedy. He barely even responds to questions.
I know, man. I don't get it. I just I don't understand. Anyway, Coach Wilson, what is the championship mindset?
Just keep going, man. Just keep going. Never quit. Right. Stay positive. That's just something in the back of my head is keep going. You're going to get through it. There's going to be bumps in the road. Nothing's ever always great. There's always something, whether it's behind the scenes or whatever. So, yeah, short and sweet for me. Sorry.
No, that's good. Now, I do want to talk about this because I think it's important, especially with a veteran coach and a kind of a brand new head coach. Mental health in the coaches, if you look around the country, it's kind of at an all-time low. What do you guys, I'll just ask Coach Wilson to begin with. What kind of advice would you give to Coach Bentley? If you look at, taking care of your mental health and taking care of yourself, which is going to be important in order to go through this grind that is the basketball season.
Find the time to get away from it. I've got a family, right? I'm got a great wife that supports me in coaching. I've got 4 kids who all play basketball. Well, at least 3 of them play basketball, so I'm always around it. But, if I am eating, breathing, sleeping, living basketball for the next 4 months, I don't make it, right? So I've got to find outlets, and I'm plenty busy within the community to help do that. But you got to take your mind off basketball some way, shape, or form, once a week during the season. Otherwise, yeah, it becomes too much. And, we we don't need that. And I think that's my big thing is, what can I do to shut my brain off from basketball during the season? And whether that's a date night with my wife or taking, the kids, and, the holidays help with that. I'll be honest. Christmas break, you get a nice little break from your kids, and then you come back and get fired up for that last stretch. But yeah, you've definitely got to have some me time or we time with your family or whoever. That's my biggest thing.
Do you leave your cell phone at home?
I don't go that far.
Okay. All right.
I mean, no. My wife tells me all the time that I'm addicted to it and this and that because it's always sports or fantasy football or whatever. And I do try to keep it in my pocket as much as possible. Like last Saturday, we had a great day. We went to Burlington, went bowling, did some things, and I was not on my phone much, and that's just what we needed going into the basketball season. So leave it home, no, but try to stay off of it, yes.
All right, Coach Bentley, you're kind of obviously you're a manager and a coach, now a head coach. What are you going to do, other than what Coach Wilson's stipulated there? And it's a stipulation.
For mental health?
Yeah.
Chuck, it's a good question. It's one of those things I probably need to look into a little more. But I mean, that goes with kind of the scheduling. We've got the schedule out. There's days where I've got rest on the schedule for the girls where it's a reminder to rest. And same thing for me. Even though I want to stay up and watch film, which I'm notorious for, I've got to find the time to close the laptop, shut the TV off, and go to bed and get sleep and wake up the next day ready to get after it again. So
now, Shannon, sorry about that. Now, Shannon, you've been around a while. I'm not going to age you, but let's talk about you've probably seen coaches burn out, and you've probably seen some coaches that were able to surpass their issues based on this mental health issue. What are your thoughts?
Well, going along, piggybacking off what Ryan said, you've got to have some me time. You really do. It's not just coaches; it's also the medical side of it. Because even with us, like now we had football season, I get 2 weeks off, and then we're right back into basketball and wrestling. So we don't get much downtime either, And so my biggest thing for me personally is when I'm done at work, I don't take it home at all. I try not to, anyways. My wife might say otherwise, but I do try to leave work at work and not bring it there, because once I come home, I just turn the phone off, and I don't want to have anything to do with work for the most part. Now I am on call for if Jeff needs something, but I just don't usually take a whole lot of work home, and that's my separation.
Well, I don't know, Jeff. I'll go ahead, buddy.
I think athletic trainers are in the same boat that coaches and everybody else are right now. Is they're getting as much burnout as anybody. And I think Coach Wilson's absolutely right that you've got to take the time to get away from what you love. Otherwise it becomes too much. But I know, when I was still coaching college, we were going through athletic trainers right and left. And it's just not, it's one of those positions that is difficult, and everybody's got an opinion about what they're doing. And, back in our day when we were playing, we can talk about that a lot. Concussions weren't like they are now. And so anytime somebody whispers that word, it's like, well, we can do this, we can do that. Well, we know a lot more now. And I commend Shannon just up and down, because he does the work of 5 or 6 people, I think. And
I appreciate that.
It's not easy. So I think he's in the same boat. I'm glad to hear that he can get away from it and turn his phone off. And I try not to call him if I can. So he does a great job.
Add to his list of duties, he takes care of my water bottles at all of our home games, because I put them down by him and his equipment. So that's another extra duty that he has.
Oh, man. Somebody better be buying him, a steak dinner, for crying out loud.
I'll take that steak dinner.
I'm sure. Who's that going to be, Chuck? Now that's bugging me.
The Doty promised he would take him out for steak. Anyway, the Doty, do you still have your phone on? And are you getting emails from school right now?
No.
You
Haven't
shut it
even
off?
looked at it.
Good for you.
Wow, 45 minutes and you haven't looked at your phone.
Correct.
Yeah, sorry to give you sarcasm. Anyway, Nick St. Clair says Shannon is an amazing asset to Fort Madison, and I agree, 150%. And I'm glad that I'm glad that Shannon doesn't tape me on the sidelines. Because sometimes I don't even know where I'm going in right or left field. I know Doty probably feels the same way, but now we're gearing up. We're excited, but let's finish on with the coaches on the following question, unless I'm bugging Jeff some more and he wants to ask another question. But what are you most looking forward to this season right now, Coach Wilson?
Just to see what happens, right? We were in the situation a couple years ago, so it's kind of weird of cycle that we've had in boys basketball. But 3 years ago, coming out of COVID, I had no seniors and a big group of juniors. We struggled that year. The next year, we ended up 18-5, ranked number 1 in the state. All that fun stuff. Last year, we had everybody brand new again. Struggled. I don't even know. We won 5 or 6 games, and now we have everybody back. So, like to think we'll be pretty competitive and have a very successful season. But that's why you play the games and go through the process. So I'm excited to just see this group. There's a lot of talent within what the varsity group's going to be. There's a lot of size. It's an exciting time as I put my practice plans together and fine tune some things we're doing offensively and defensively with my coaching staff this week. And ready to hit the floor running and see what we're made of.
Coach Bentley?
Well, we get started tomorrow, and I'm excited to see some of the pieces put together and just be able to get after it tomorrow, start implementing some new offensive scheme, defensive philosophy. So getting after all that. And some of these girls have really worked hard. And I say that now, because I know hard work reaps benefits, and so some of these girls have really worked, and they're going to show you that this season. I believe in it, so I'm excited. We lost Mallory Ross. I wasn't here yet. She 22, 23 points a game. Camille Cruzy last year, 18 or 19. 19.4 for a while and then dropped down to 18 in the last couple games. But losing 18, 19 points from her, Molly, 10 points a game last year. I'm excited to see some of these other girls step into themselves and step into their new roles. So that's me.
100%. Now, before we start talking about food, and then I'm sure Doty will chime in at that point, we're going to go over the what's bugging the Jeff segment.
Oh, like right now?
Yes.
I've been thinking about this one a lot because I think there's we have a lot of great things. I'm gonna, but before I get into this, I'll say Doty is a really huge asset to Fort Madison. I know he's easy to pick on, I guess, but Doty's been. I don't even know what position he's in at the middle school, but he's done tremendous things there. And then picking up some of the spots that he does with athletics is huge as well. So helping you out with, you guys doing the lower level of football is tremendous. So Doty's definitely not bugging me, and I'd love to hear more from him, but he sounds pretty quiet tonight. But what's bugging me? I think the biggest thing for me right now is short-sightedness. And what I mean by that is a lot of times we're looking at the thing right in front of our face when we need to be looking at what is going to be overall better for everybody. And it's sometimes it can be coaches, sometimes it can be parents, sometimes it can be the community. But big picture wise, there's a lot of things that may not be a good impact today. So it's challenging to show everybody what our goals are and everything else as we get going with that. So that'd be what's bugging me right now, but not much. I mean, this community is great, and the people that we have on here are great. I mean, just look at the 4 we have now are tremendous. So yeah, that's where I would go with that.
Excellent. Now go ahead and let all of our listeners know, Jeff, about this winter sports preview. And I heard from a little birdie that Dog Pound Radio will be large and in charge there, and probably will have the Doty.
Yeah, that would be phenomenal. If we can get Logan talking a little bit more and get him out and around, it'd be good for us. I think a lot of people like him. I know the kids at the middle school really do. So November 16th, we've got girls wrestling, boys wrestling, girls basketball, boys basketball. They're all going to kind of put on a show for everybody. They're going to do some hoping for a little 3-on-3 or whatever they have the ability to do a couple matches while they're doing that, take some pictures. What we're asking is the Booster Club runs our concession stand. So anybody that's interested in coming in, bring so we've got a list of things like a 6-pack of 20-ounce sodas. Or if you want to just come in and do a donation, so to speak, of $5 to the Booster Club, we'll take that. But just trying to get everything out there so the media can meet our kids, so the community can meet our kids, the community can have conversations with the coaches and stuff, and just ask the questions that hopefully they can get answers to. That, you know, I may not always agree with what Coach Wilson does, so why do you do that, Coach Wilson? And hopefully he can kind of talk with some of that just to get through it. I don't expect him to do a ton, but I think it'd be great to just get everybody together, and hopefully we'll make the building and everything around just a little better and meet each other and go about it that way. So November 16th, 6 o'clock, come out. We'll be ready for you. Help us get the season started with a bang.
Super excited. Now, Coach Wilson, favorite place to eat around Fort Madison?
Weaver, Green Bay Bar and Grill or whatever it's called. Absolute favorite. Best, great pizza. They've got, I was just there Thursday night. They've got a nice ribeye steak sandwich. Get this, a 10-ounce steak, 2 sides for $14.99. I don't think you can beat that anywhere else. So we eat there a lot, and just in kid-friendly, nice environment, but just nice smorgasbord of food.
All right, Coach Bentley.
I like the Simple Table downtown, across from the Chamber of Commerce. Pretty good. I get the filet mignon with the blue cheese on top. It's pretty good.
He obviously doesn't have kids yet, Jeff. That's why you can afford filet mignon. Just throwing that out there, Coach Doty.
Oh, I'm pretty simple. Anything I can DoorDash to my office is what I go with.
Oh, man, DoorDash. Doggone it. Shannon?
I got to go with the cab, and it's right down the street, too, so it's pretty easy to get to.
Jeff, you want to throw anyone out there tonight?
Oh, man. I had dinner at the Somme tonight up in Burlington. It was okay, but not as good as some of the places here in Fort Madison. So, you know what I'm really excited about is the marina. When that opens up, I think that's going to be my go-to.
Nice. I'm going to give a shout out to the Colony. They have a wonderful staff, and they're always friendly. Anyway, folks, I want to say thank you very much for listening in. The next time that we will be live in full and charge will be the 16th, Thursday, November 16th, for the winter sports preview, because Sunday night is the football banquet, so we're going to be indisposed of. But for everybody within Dog Pound Radio, have a great week and good night.